welcome back to rebuilding this Continental GT. So let's crack straight on and reassemble it. So greasing the bottom yoke, the bearing race, and then applying the bearings so we can get the top and bottom yokes in the frame, get the forks in it, and crack on the way to rebuilding it.
Here's the bearings. Back in the back. Right, slide the bottom yoke through with all the bearings. And the clock face. And then the old top nut.
So nip it all together on top nut and then have a feel for any free play in it. So you can see I've got some free play there, a little bit of knocking noise, and then just give it just another nip until that free play is gone, until it rotates smoothly but there's no back and forth rock.
Beautiful. Right.
So a bit of grease on the threads at the top of the fork, just to help it rotate in. And then on the bottom yoke, you want to I put a 4mm Allen key in, and then just rotate it quarter of a turn to loosen the fork yoke, the bottom yoke, and then you can get the fork stanchion through without scratching it.
And that just holds there. And I need the clip on. Nice new freshly chromed clip on. now it's in a few threads. I'm really being careful not to damage the paint, the chrome, sorry.
And then once you've got it in the fork, rotated in a few threads, you find an Allen key that fits in the top of the fork, and then you basically just rotate it in clockwise direction, normal direction, spinning the whole fork leg around until it's bottomed out into the top yoke. So this is how it bolts in, so you can see me there with the ratchet, and keep spraying a bit of lubricant on the around the clip-on so it doesn't scratch.
So we take our top, this is the oil filler, but it also holds the spring retainer. So you have to lift the fork up until the spring retainer comes all the way to the top. You rotate your leg so it's in the correct way. Remember to rotate it the correct direction so the spring gets tighter, not unwound. And then you drop this in. Now I don't have any oil in the forks, so I need to come and do that later. Spike's being built fully dry at the moment, and then we'll get all lubricated. And that's one leg done, minus the bolts. So now, the other leg. Get the stanchion, the clip-on ready as well.
So you can see here on the clip-on I've got the Allen key inserted. So again, I think it's a 4mm Allen key, and you find the biggest one that'll fit in the gap between the clamping faces, and you just rotate it quarter of a turn, and it spreads it enough so the clip-on slides straight on. The same with the lower yoke, so then it's not going to touch and scratch your chrome. And then same as other side, big Allen key in the top of that fork, and just rotate it into the top yoke until it bottoms out and stops. And then again, exactly the same as the other side, top oil feed, spring retaining screw bolt goes in at the top, just screw it down, make sure your fork's lifted all the way up, and then it's rotated in the correct orientation. And that's the forks installed, other than your clamping nuts for the bottom yokes and your clip-ons.
That's that. And now raise your clip on to where you want it. And remove your Allen key. Ta-da! Clean up and put your bike safely in the stand again.
And then it's time to put the front wheel back in the bike. So you can do this the easy way, or you can do it my way. Hence why I got a bad back, but yeah. I just lift it up and put it on, but it's probably the silly way of doing it. once it's on. Clamping pieces go on the bottom of the forks, and then 2 nuts either side. Lock the wheel in place. Dead easy. And she's coming together now, so rear wheel in, just slides in. You've got to line up the brake locking plate. You can also on these bikes put the sprocket and brake drum assembly in first and then the wheel in second if you want to do it split, but mine's all assembled, so all in one. You just have to do a bit of angling just to slide it past the rear swing arm, but once it's in, dead easy. Then have a quick look at it, make sure it's all lined up, spins freely, and just give it a nip. You're going to have to adjust it anyway once the chain goes on to get the slack out of the chain and stuff. So rear brake actuator lever is now installed, and then on the frame we're going to, with some grease, install the brake stop or limit. This is just the pedal stroke the stop on that. And then it's the original brake light switch, which I've just tested using the multimeter, checking for basic continuity, making sure it turns on and off so it'll work. This has just been cleaned up and yeah, put back on, but it's the original one. Foot controls going on, so this one being the brake lever, rear brake lever obviously. yeah, and just going around the whole bike and bolting on all the foot controls, the foot pegs, things like that, getting everything that he can reassembled. And then we're on to the handlebars, and I feel like we're making pretty good progress with this bike. It's super simple, it's all easy to go together. But yeah, so main beam dip switch going on, a horn button. Again, this is the original one that was on the bike, and just re-chromed it. Sorry, not re-chromed it, just cleaned it. It is the original one. Check the wiring in it, and that all works. The original brake levers. Yeah, and these have just been blasted with baking soda. So straight on with them. And then on to throttle side stanchion, or throttle side clip-on. So original choke, again, just being actually baking soda blasted it. Most of the chrome is in really decent nick. There's a few bits and bobs, but actually I like it. Shows the age of it, and then just seeing how far up the clip-on I need to put the brake lever and things to get the throttle in the correct place. And again, original throttle just cleaned up and looks really good, to be honest. Then just slotting in the clutch cable, and then just figuring out my routing for it. Yeah, clutch cable, and then light bracket for the headlight.
Now it's time for the newly refurbed headlight bowl. So it's been re-chromed and looks crazy good compared to what it was.
And again, this is the original rev counter drive, and I've just cleaned it up and made it and oiled it, and it's all good.
Speedo
Had to get a new speedo cable. But yeah, and then routing the speedo cable through, trying to find the original and also optimal routing for it. then fitting the new throttle cable, sliding that through, and then just zipping it in place. And then next up, wiring loom. So brand new wiring loom from Hitchcock's. So nice and easy, super simple. Just put it in the right position. Took a bit of just looking and working out where it goes exactly, but dead easy. And then they supply a wiring diagram or wiring color code with it, and then using the factory wiring diagram will help you to wire it up.
Right, so here's where we're at. So, oiling the engine. We have a spark when I connect the coil to the battery, etc. Temporary fuel source jerry rigged up. So I think we need to get some fuel in it, clear up some work table space, and then get some cameras rolling, more cameras, and let's try and start it.
So while I'm getting fuel in this bike on camera, I think I should explain. So I've got a 12 volt coil pack on it. This is going to be a 12 volt bike, and I've connected the coil negative to the points in the bike. I've earthed the bike through the frame, and I've connected a positive cable to the positive side of the coil from a car battery, so we can fire it up.
Nervous. Right. Let's pop that down there. So, positive first. Positive connected. Negative onto the engine, onto this bolt here. Right, let's check for spark first. We had spark, we've lost spark. Okay, right. There we go. Put that there. Right, we have spark. Let's give the exhaust a wipe. Hopefully, so I don't put my dirty fingerprints all in it. Are we happy? Yes, I know. I'm just going to change where the positive wire goes so it's lower down. So I'm not going to kick it. Right. Positive connected. Anything I'm missing? Right. Just give it a couple of feels weird. It feels like it's not spinning over, like the clutch is slipping.
I started to realise I had a little issue with my clutch. So I've only got 3 springs in the clutch at the moment. You can put 6 in it. So yeah, we were trying to work around these problems as well. So I was thinking it was the clutch cable, I'd maybe got it too tight, got some preload on the clutch. So I basically slackened the clutch off so the clutch didn't work. So all the weight of the springs was on the pressure plates to try that. But it still slipped.
Yes. Right.
And then onto it, first time kicking over the bike and seeing, you can see I tried to do it from the side of the bike to start with, but I found it more stable to actually straddle the bike and get over the top of it for this. It looks a lot more unstable on video than it felt in real life.
It's just slipping the clutch. The clutch is loose. Right. I'm going to try it with the plug slightly loose to lose some compression. Obviously that's not the fix by any means, but no.
So in my haste to get this bike started, I didn't have a choke cable for it. I'd forgot to order it. So this is all trying to start it without any choke at all. So it took me a while. Yeah, so probably a good 5-10 minutes of kicking her over nice and frequently, and still nothing. I'd had the occasional kick at this point.
It's not spinning over on. Clutch is slipping too much. So when it's on compression, the clutch now slips. Right, spark plug's loose. See what happens. Ooh, let me kick back so it's still too advanced.
So I hope you all agree she sounded pretty sweet there. I'm well happy with that. So next up I checked the oil to the head, and I actually managed to break a banjo bolt. So I had to reorder one of them. So that kind of stopped play. So yeah, but the first start is done. So thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe. I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, and see you again next time when we'll have it more and more complete.